Hello and welcome to BBC London. Coming up in the next half hour. The Met Police appeals for witnesses after a man died at the Oasis concert at Wembley Stadium.
The band say they're shocked and saddened at the news after the man in his 40s is reported to have fallen from an upper tier.
Also tonight, a Londoner who died from methanol poisoning while travelling. Her best friend successfully campaigns for change. Plus, it may look and sound like a rave on the South Bank, but why this was a celebration of lost loved ones. And extinct in Surrey for 2 decades, a colony of 50 water voles are released into the wild to help boost numbers. Good evening to you. Police are appealing to concert goers for any information after a man died following a fall at the Oasis gig at Wembley on Saturday. The man in his 40s was pronounced dead at the scene. The Met says the stadium was busy and believe it's likely a number of people witnessed the incident or may knowingly or unknowingly have caught it on mobile phone footage. We can join our reporter Frankie McCamley in Wembley now with more. Frankie.
Well, good evening, Riz. Over the weekend, this area here would have looked very, very different for anyone who was here as well. Thousands of Oasis fans filling the streets and the stadiums coming to watch their band perform. But today, we've seen lots of people heading home wearing their bucket hats and Oasis memorabilia. Now, it's not last night that people are talking about. Sadly, it is Saturday night that seems to have overshadowed this comeback tour somewhat. Now, we've got this footage that was around 5 minutes before this incident happened. As you can see, people celebrating and having a great time. But at around 20 past 10, it's reported a man fell from the upper tier. Now, police and medics who were on the scene tried to help, but sadly, the man in his 40s died at the scene. As for much more information, well, we haven't got that at the moment. We don't know who exactly the man was or those circumstances surrounding his death yet. But what the Met Police have said is his injuries are consistent with a fall. We have had a statement from Oasis, the band. They have said, "We are shocked and saddened to hear of the tragic death of a fan at the show. Oasis would like to extend our sincere condolences to the family and friends of the person involved." Well, this case is now being investigated by the Metropolitan Police. It is then going to be passed on to Brent Council, which will look at the safety implications surrounding this and check whether all laws were followed surrounding that. I think it is important to note that this isn't the first fall to happen here at Wembley Stadium. Back in 2021, a football fan was treated with serious injuries after having a fall there. But as for this case, as you mentioned, Riz, police are now appealing for anyone who was there at that time who may have been filming at around 20 past 10 to check their footage and to hand that in so they can try and get to the bottom of exactly what happened here on Saturday night.
OK, Frankie, with the latest there from Wembley Stadium. Thank you. Don't let it be your best friend that dies. That's the message from a woman whose childhood friend, Londoner Simone White, died after drinking alcohol that had been laced with methanol. They were both travelling in Southeast Asia at the time. Now, a campaign led by her family and friends has led to change because it will soon be compulsory for secondary schools to educate pupils about the dangers of methanol poisoning.
She was just one of those people that had everything going for her. She just had a zest for life. She had so many friends.
Simone White and her childhood friend Bethany Clark were on a dream holiday when on a night out they were given free shots thought to contain methanol, a deadly substance often found in bootleg alcohol. A few days later, Simone died in hospital.
It just shouldn't have happened. She made everyone feel so special. And she just had that way about her that she would be such a good listener and she'd make you feel like the most important person to her. So really, yeah, it's just unbelievable loss for so many people.
The friends were staying at a backpackers hostel in Laos in Southeast Asia. Simone was one of 6 tourists to die after consuming the drinks, and Bethany says methanol poisoning is a growing danger abroad.
It is happening all the time. It's happening in India, Jordan, Bangladesh, places like that. It's literally happening more or less on a daily basis or weekly basis. And yeah, there's just so much more that we could do because it's completely preventable. Completely needless deaths are happening because of methanol.
Since Simone's death, Bethany has campaigned for more education, and from September next year, the dangers of methanol will be taught in schools in England and Wales. The government told us, we have added new content on increasing personal safety while drinking alcohol, including how to decrease the risks of having a drink spiked or of poisoning from potentially fatal substances such as methanol.
If you want to drink beer, that's fine. Cider, fine. Spirits, you've got to be very, very cautious with because you just don't know if it's counterfeit and it's not worth taking that risk when you're on holiday. No.
Bethany says the death of Simone has left a huge void, and she doesn't want this to happen to anyone else. Layla Hayes, BBC London.
Thanks for being with us this Monday evening. Plenty more to come, including... After being extinct in Surrey for 2 decades, a colony of water voles are released into the wild. 2 17-year-olds, a boy and a girl, have been detained for torturing and killing 2 kittens. The animals were found earlier this year near Ruislip Golf Course in a black holdall bag. Anna O'Neill is outside Highbury Corner Youth Court for us. Anna, over to you.
That's right. Well, good evening, Riz. It was here at Highbury Magistrates Court that District Judge Hina Rai said today that the cat killings near Ruislip Golf Course were, without doubt, the most awful offence against animals I have seen in this court. And that's after more details emerged about the torture and abuse of the cats ahead of the teenagers' sentencing. On Saturday, the 3rd of May this year, CCTV captured the pair walking with a black animal carrier on their way to a wooded path near the golf course. Witnesses stated that the black bag appeared to be moving as if there was something alive inside. Sometime later, a member of the public came across the pair after they'd killed the cats, and they challenged them, and the pair ran off, seen here on the same CCTV camera running the other way. They can't be named for legal reasons, but today they have been sentenced, a detention and training order. 12 months for the male defendant and 9 months for the female defendant. Both of them have been banned from keeping animals for life. The court heard how the pair's social media searches showed a long history of searches for violence against animals and attempts to contact sellers of cats online both before and after this incident. And in the male defendant's case, Riz, there were notes on his phone stating that he wanted to kill a person.
From his phone in particular, there was such a wide range of distressing content where he was researching how to get away with murder and what particular type of person to target to get away with murder. So it's not just the case that he is mutilating cats, it does go beyond that, and there are significant urges that he himself has admitted to trying to suppress by killing cats.
And Anna, it's been a difficult case for police officers, many of whom are pet lovers themselves, and comes at the same time a BBC investigation into online networks of animal abusers.
That's right. I think members of the public and the police found this case to be particularly distressing, Riz, because so many people own and love cats. And as you say, there is a BBC investigation today that's revealed that there is an international network of people like this that share abuse images of torture and abuse of animals. And although police have no evidence that this is directly linked, they think that this case might be. And they have this advice for anybody who thinks somebody they know might be involved in something similar.
There's a whole network out there that are mutilating and killing cats, and in particular they are finding their victims, they are finding kittens in particular on classified websites, and where people are advertising cats for free to a good home and stuff like that. We need people that are doing that, we need them to stop doing that and just think twice when they are doing that, and if they are unable to take them to a shelter to rehome, at least ask for ID of the person you're selling it to and for electronic payment, because if then we have an electronic payment, we can trace that. So if this does happen again, there will be some kind of way that we can trace these people.
Wanted to thank members of the public for their extensive help. Police wanted to thank members of the public for their extensive help to police throughout this investigation. Riz.
OK, Anna, thank you. Anna O'Neill there. Let's take a look at some of the day's other stories now. And 5 Met officers have been charged with inflicting grievous bodily harm following an investigation by the police watchdog, the IOPC. The incident, which took place 2 years ago, saw a man restrained at an Islington hospital. A man and a woman have been charged with murder following the fatal stabbing of a man in southeast London. Police were called to Monson Road in New Cross on Saturday. The victim has been named as Ayawale Aladejana. Detectives have appealed for information. And former BBC Essex broadcaster and radio personality James Whale has died from cancer, aged 74. A 6-decade stint career across the BBC airwaves also included time with LBC and TalkSport. As we can see there, he was awarded an MBE last year for services to charity and broadcasting. Thousands of Eurostar passengers have been told to postpone their journeys to and from Paris because of cancellations and delays. Eurostar says it's due to part of the track being temporarily closed on the French network because of a power failure. Well, our reporter Barry Caffrey is here. And Barry, this will affect a lot of people trying to get away for the summer, possibly.
Certainly will. In August, 9 trains so far cancelled today between London and Paris, and 17 trains have been delayed. This is all because of problems with the line, the high-speed rail line in France. Now, it doesn't affect services between London and Amsterdam, but it does between London and Paris, and also between Paris and Amsterdam. Now, Eurostar is advising anyone with an upcoming journey to postpone that journey, and that's going to be very worrying news for people, particularly at this time of year. The advice for anyone is to keep an eye on the Eurostar website and also their live app, which they say they are updating. As I said, the problem is due to this power failure on the high-speed line. We have no idea when this power failure will be fixed, but worrying news for Eurostar passengers. For anyone wanting to travel between London and Paris, the advice from Eurostar is to postpone your journey, and certainly to keep an eye on their website to check for the very latest updates. But worrying news at this time of year in particular.
Yeah, as you say, Barry, thank you. So an uncertain time for anyone travelling on Eurostar, London to Paris. OK, thank you. Now, it's almost 6 years ago that a fire ripped through a block of American-style flats in southwest London. The residents escaping with their lives, but the trauma of that night stays with them. Some people who've moved back into the rebuilt block have told us why they feel they still remain on high alert in their new homes. Wendy Hurrell has the story.
The splintered shell of Richmond House in Worcester Park following the fire in 2019. People from 23 flats escaped with their lives, but lost just about everything else. Almost 6 years on, it has been rebuilt with the same American weatherboard style. Agnese De Masi is one of 3 homeowners who have come back, but she says living here is uneasy.
I couldn't find anywhere else, and so I moved back in here. And it's been a bit of a difficult journey.
The trauma of that night stays with the residents, that they only had minutes to escape. So what's happened since has been triggering.
First week, alarm, and then second week I get a message from my neighbour saying fire brigades are here. We had to evacuate. I'm literally standing in front of Richmond House in tears. And then that happened another 3 times. I had like heart palpitation the whole day because obviously the alarm went off during the night, which is exactly what happened the night of the fire.
The building is managed by housing association Metropolitan Thames Valley, and Yeze won a damages claim against MTVH when the building was found to have significant fire safety defects. She's been frustrated with their response to problems in the new building.
Very, very poor communication, sporadic. Given the situation, they've not kept us informed about anything. It's just showing complete lack of empathy.
MTVH says it understands the anxiety fire alarm activations cause residents, stating, "Their safety and feeling of safety is hugely important to us and has been our focus both during the rebuild and return to their homes. We rebuilt Richmond House to the highest fire safety standards and fully involved residents in the process." It also says the system is working properly and it's investigating the cause of the recent alarms.
They're now saying that they want to take us around with an expert to explain all of the systems. Probably they should have done that at the beginning, and still we don't have an answer as to why our fire alarm goes off.
And she remains on high alert in her newly rebuilt home.
I mean, you go to bed and you don't know if you're going to be woken up by another alarm. So it's not a pleasant situation to be in.
Wendy Hurrell, BBC London.
Next, grief and rave are two words you wouldn't usually put together, but they certainly were at the weekend on the South Bank. It was an event to celebrate lost loved ones through music and to help process grief and not feel alone. Brian Lee Williams went along.
It looks like a rave, it sounds like a rave, and well, it is a rave. But everyone here has something in common.
My mum passed, it'll be 4 years in November. I grew up watching my mum dance in the kitchen when she was cooking Sunday roasts and stuff. And, you know, she loved the calypso. So when I heard on the radio there was this grief rave, I was like, what a better way to represent my mum and re-celebrate her life.
The Grief Rave idea began over 3 years ago, co-founded by Annie Frost-Nicholson and Carly Attridge, and it's taken over the South Bank Centre.
I lost a friend a few years ago. She was an old school 90s raver, and I remember her every year by dancing to her favourite rave tune. And I saw Annie, we came up with the idea together that actually it would be great to create a space where people can express their own individual grief, but collectively join in and dance together. It kind of creates a sense of joy and hope.
This is the Fandango Discoteca. It's a bit like a grief pod. You can come inside, be on your own. It's completely soundproof and no one can see in from outside. And the idea is that you pick a song that reminds you of your loved one. You can do whatever you want in here to help process your grief.
Emma lost her twin Charlie over a decade ago, and events like this help keep her memory alive.
I would say it's taken me 10 years to find out who I am without being part of a pair. So our relationship was very much like Batman and Robin. She was Batman, I'm Robin. The person that dies, they don't leave us. Their story doesn't end when they die. We keep writing their stories. And so by bringing your person and listening to their music again, you're just allowing that little seed of who they are to just grow and influence the people around you. And I think that's what this space allows as well. So it's about celebrating that person.
Processing loss and bereavement of any kind is extremely personal, but the Grief Rave shows you're never alone. Bryony Williams, BBC London.
And our thanks to those who shared their stories there, highlighting a different way to help process grief. So if you or someone you know would like support or advice in confidence, the BBC has pulled together a list of organisations that can help. You can see the phone number there or just search for BBC Action Line. OK, to the capital's wildlife now, and these are an endangered species. In fact, they've been extinct in Surrey for more than 20 years. until now. A colony of water voles has been released into a wetlands in Epsom. It follows the successful reintroduction of beavers in parts of London. Both species are important for the environment and the ecosystem. They're not the only wildlife we might be able to spot this summer. Asad Ahmed has more from London's largest wetland.
The London Wetland Centre in Barnes is in the London borough of Richmond upon Thames, and what surprises a lot of people who come here for the first time is how London can have a nature reserve which is 100 acres in size. And the other number to be aware of is that the London Wetland Centre is celebrating its 25th birthday this year. Like any nature reserve, the weather to come and enjoy it is irrelevant. This will look great when it's cloudy like today, when it's raining, whether it's sunny, cold, warm, which is why the centre is open all year round apart from Christmas Day. Alexia Hollinshead, you're the manager here, 25 years old. Sir David Attenborough, when he opened the centre in the year 2000, he summed it up quite well. Remind us of what he said.
Yeah, so he referred to the site as an extra lung for Londoners, which I thought perfectly summed up what this place is. It's an escape from the busy life that everyone has working in London. And I think we're a bit of a secret hidden gem, really, still. From some of our lookout points, you can see the Shard. So it's amazing to have that kind of connection of being so close to the city, but also being this beautiful nature spot and having this beautiful wetland here, and it's so accessible as well. We're trying to encourage as many people to come, bring their families, bring their children to learn more about wetlands and why wetlands are important.
And tell us, why are wetlands important? And especially in London.
So wetlands are really important. So they're effectively the lifeblood of the planet. 40% of the world's plants and animals depend on wetlands, so it's such a crucial habitat, and it's really vital we protect it. Particularly in areas like London, where nature is quite far and few between when you're thinking about nature reserves. But actually for us here, we're such an accessible nature reserve, and we've got plenty to do for all the family to enjoy and learn.
And you do have plenty to do. I've been noticing these flags, Dragonfly Festival. That's what you've got on at the moment, haven't you? A festival without dragonfly seems a bit much to me. What's there to do?
Yes, exactly. So this year is our first ever Dragonfly Festival. People would be surprised to know that we actually have many different types of dragonfly living here at London. And the festival itself runs through the whole summer holidays until the middle of September. We've got lots of activities. Earlier this summer, we opened our brand new splash pad. So the splash pad is open, and children and families are really enjoying it. And it's just a really lovely way to chill, for children to cool down on those hot summer days, and for families to just to have fun and play in nature.
And at the Wetland Centre, do you have water voles here?
Yes, we do. They are very elusive and rarely seen, but yes, they are here.
Well, that's interesting, because not far from here in Surrey, there's a team which is working on reintroducing water voles to the county after being away for many years. There are lots of environmental reasons why they're doing that. It's something that Yvette Austin has been looking into.
Getting ready to release a water vole into the wild. Using a tube is a tried and tested handling method for a rodent with sharp teeth. Each is put into a little safe space with food, which they're able to dig themselves out from and into the wider habitat when they feel ready.
So the supplementary feed just means that it's got a bit of food to sort of get it established and make sure that when it comes out, the first thing it's got to do is not find food.
It's an absolutely historic day, the first time water voles are back in Surrey for over 20 years. And they go around and they garden the riverbanks, eating away sort of and keeping the vegetation down, but they also help to spread seeds, which is really important for ecological function.
The water voles were bred in captivity at the Wildwood Trust in Kent. Staff set up a breeding programme when it was realised how severe their decline had become due to habitat loss and predation by invasive American mink.
Water vole captive breeding and reintroduction projects are incredibly important for the species. This is a species that's declined by 90%. We're really losing these animals, they're endangered, and they don't travel very far, so it's really essential that when we find good habitat, that we're able to put the water voles back to re-establish a population.
This latest release is into a Surrey wetland created over the past 2 years as part of a much bigger project to improve the Hogsmill chalk stream in Epsom and Ewell, which has suffered from pollution. Importantly, there are no mink here.
Putting the water voles back really is the cherry on the icing on the cake, and we've had to bake that cake, and that's taken many, many, many years. So we're just so excited to be here and to get the water voles out and see them going into their new habitat.
The wetland is seen as a prime example of a nature-based solution to sewage river pollution, with plants filtering the water, something conservationists say could be replicated across the country, potentially providing homes to even more water voles.
Yvette Austin reporting, and thanks to Assad before that. And now let's see what the weather's doing and if there's any sunshine about with Gillian Brown.
Hello there, good evening to you. Well, it's been a pretty cloudy day, but this morning we did have a glimmer of sunshine. It was pretty short-lived, but it was captured by one of our weather watchers a little bit earlier. And for the remainder of the day, it's turned pretty grey and cloudy. Kingston upon Thames, probably very similar to what most of you have seen through the course of today. A lot of cloud, the odd spot of rain out there as well, but through the course of this evening and tonight, things will clear away. The showers will die off and it will turn a bit clearer and a bit drier as we head through into the early hours. So here's our front that's been bringing those stronger winds and the cloud and those spells of rain moving away tonight. So tomorrow will turn a lot more settled. It will still be a little bit on the breezy side though, and we hang on to that wind for a time tonight as well. So although it will be clearer, drier, the showers move away. Our temperatures probably between 9 and 12 degrees, and you'll notice it's still a little bit on the breezy side as we head into tomorrow, but a much brighter start to the day. Some sunshine around for many of us. There will be some patchy clouds. Sunshine could turn a little bit hazy for a time as well, but I think our highs tomorrow probably around 22 or 23 degrees. Still quite a noticeable breeze though for some of us, you'll see with those wind roses. But as we head through into the middle part of the week, this high pressure starts to move in and build, so it will definitely turn more settled through Wednesday and Thursday. Some better spells of sunshine, and through tomorrow evening, again another clear picture really, a bit of cloud here and there, but largely quite dry and clear as we start Wednesday once again. Between 9 and 12 degrees, not a huge difference in those overnight temperatures either. The winds start to ease up a little bit though as we head into Wednesday. We should see some good spells of sunshine, about 23 degrees, and you'll see those temperatures, they do start to climb into the middle and end part of the week. Into the weekend, I think we are set for some much warmer weather, plenty of sunshine, highs of 26 or 27.
Looks good. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. More on our website, including, if you missed it, a moving interview with the Londoner who says he owes his life to a defibrillator and a former US president. And on BBC Radio London from 7, Bobby Friction chats to a young BAFTA winner from Mitcham. Have a lovely evening.